Imagine pulling into your dream home after scraping by for years, only to have sirens blaring because some nosy neighbor decided you look too working class to belong. But what if that same busybody's iron-fisted rule over the subdivision crumbles when her own shady secrets come spilling out like trash on collection day? Alex Rivera had finally made it. After 18 grueling years flipping burgers, then climbing the ladder at a local auto repair shop, skipping vacations, driving a beat-up Chevy that coughed more than it cruised, he'd scraped together enough for a down payment on a modest ranch-style house in Sunnybrook Meadows, a cookie-cutter suburb outside Phoenix, Arizona. The kind of place where white picket fences hid the simmering resentments of people who thought rules could paper over their insecurities. On moving day, the desert sun baked everything to a crisp, turning Alex's t-shirt into a sopping rag as he hauled boxes from his rented trailer. He was mid-40s, with grease-stained hands that told stories of oil changes and engine overhauls, and a quiet demeanor that came from years of biting his tongue around entitled customers. But as he lugged his worn-out sofa through the front door, a squad car rolled up silently, lights flashing like a bad omen. The cop, a burly guy with a mustache that screamed, "I've seen it all," stepped out and eyed Alex like he was casing the joint. "Sir, we got a call about suspicious activity. Someone entering the property without permission." Alex froze, sweat dripping into his eyes, and let out a dry laugh that died in his throat. "Permission? I own this place. Closed last week." He rummaged through a box for the deed. His ID. The whole paper trail of his life savings poured into 4 walls and a roof. The officer scanned it all, nodded reluctantly, and muttered, "Sorry for the mix-up." Caller said the truck looked out of place. As the cruiser peeled away, Alex spotted her across the street, Barbara Klein, HOA president, perched on her porch like a vulture in pearls. Mid-50s, with a bob haircut sharper than her tongue. Dressed in khakis and a blouse that screamed, "I shop at Talbot's," she waved dismissively, her diamond ring catching the light. "Just keeping the neighborhood safe." "Dear," she called out, her voice honeyed but laced with venom. Alex waved back. But inside, he clocked her, the way her eyes raked over his faded jeans and scuffed boots, judging him unworthy of her pristine domain. That night, as Alex unpacked in the dim glow of a single lamp, he stared at the ceiling, replaying the scene. He wasn't mad yet, he was observant. Years in the shop had taught him to spot a faulty engine before it blew, same with people. Barbara didn't just call the cops, she did it because he didn't fit her mold of respectable. The subdivision's covenants were a bible of absurdities: no visible trash cans after 8 a.m. Lawns mowed to exactly 2.5 inches. Vehicles aesthetically pleasing. It was all a facade for control freaks like her to lord over everyone else. Alex decided to play it cool. Observe the machine before dismantling it. But Barbara? She was already revving up her petty engine. The first fine slipped under his door like a snake in the grass. 2 weeks in. Violation: unauthorized exterior modifications. Alex squinted at the paper, apparently. His welcome mat, a simple brown thing from Walmart, clashed with the community pallet. Fine, $50. He chuckled bitterly, picturing Barbara measuring mats with a ruler in her spare time. Educational, she'd called the standards on her welcome email blast. Yeah. Educating folks on how to be a drone. He paid it, not wanting waves, but noted how the neighbor's neon pink flamingo lawn ornaments went unchecked. Selective. Much? Then came the second zinger in the mail: non-compliant vehicle storage. His Chevy, parked in plain sight, was detracting from curb appeal. Suggested remedy: hide it in the garage or upgrade to something befitting the community's image. Fine, $100. Compounding weekly. Alex's garage was crammed with tools, his livelihood, so he fired off a polite email. Hey Barbara. My truck's road legal and paid off. What's the beef? Her reply. A form letter quoting bylaws. Signed with a flourish, maintaining harmony requires sacrifice from all. Harmony? More like Her Highness's ego trip. Whispers started creeping in like the evening chill. At the corner store. A guy from down the block side-eyed him. Heard you're running some kind of shop out of your garage. Tools and whatnot. Alex blinked. Nah. Just fixing my own stuff. But the rumor mill churned, Barbara's doing. No doubt. She hosted coffee chats where she'd sip lattes and drop hints. We must protect our property values from inconsistencies. Alex kept quiet. But he started jotting notes, dates of fines. Neighbors' violations ignored, like the guy's RV rusting in his yard. One evening, Barbara showed up unannounced. Clipboard in hand. Knocking like she owned the place. Mr. Rivera. Reports of excessive noise. Hammering at odd hours? Alex leaned on the doorframe. Arms crossed. That was me hanging shelves at 7 p.m. You know. Settling in. She pursed her lips. Scribbling furiously. Community guidelines stipulate quiet hours start at 6. Consider this a warning. As she turned, she added with a saccharine smile. We're all in this together. Right? Unless someone's not pulling their weight. Alex shut the door. Smirking inwardly at her faux concern. Pulling weight? She'd probably never lifted anything heavier than her superiority complex. The pressure built like a bad transmission about to slip. Alex's mailbox became a daily dread, another notice, suspected unauthorized occupancy. Apparently, his cousin dropping by for a beer constituted potential subletting. Demand, provide bank statements. Utility bills. Even references. Nothing personal, the letter read. But it reeked of her meddling. Alex confided in his sister over the phone. Who lived back in Tucson. Sounds like she's got a throne to protect, she said. Don't let her grind you down. He didn't plan to. Instead, he attended his first HOA meeting. Sliding into a back row of the stuffy rec center. Barbara presided like a queen. Gavel in hand. Droning about flower bed uniformity. During open forum, she fielded a concern from a crony. What about newcomers disrupting the vibe? Barbara nodded sagely. Vigilance is key. If something feels off, old vehicles. Unfamiliar faces, report it. We're preserving our way of life. Eyes darted to Alex, who sat stone-faced. Absorbing the subtext, you don't belong. Grease monkey. It was laughable. In a twisted way, her preaching community while wielding rules like a whip. That's when Alex met Lena Torres. A retired teacher 2 blocks over. Who cornered him at the park. Barbara's got you in her sights. Huh. Did the same to me when I painted my door teal, called it garish. But she's hiding something. Those dues we pay. Never seen a full accounting. Lena's eyes twinkled with mischief. Dig a little, you'll find rot. Alex nodded. The seed planted. He wasn't the yelling type, he was the mechanic who diagnosed problems methodically. So, he hired a PI named Vic. A grizzled ex-cop who specialized in HOA nightmares. These types thrive on power trips, Vic grunted over coffee. I'll check her finances. History, see what's under the hood. Meanwhile, the harassment amped up, an anonymous flyer in mailboxes claiming Alex was lowering standards with his junker. Kids avoided his yard, a mom yanked her toddler away mid-wave. Alex seethed quietly. But the irony fueled him, Barbara. With her leased Mercedes and spa days. Lecturing on standards while her own house had unapproved solar panels he'd spotted via Google Earth. Vic's first report hit like a torque wrench. Barbara had filed bankruptcy a decade back. Drowning in credit card debt from luxury splurges. Post-bankruptcy, she'd refinanced her home 3 times. Each pulling out equity that didn't match her admin job salary. And the HOA funds? Spotty records, dues collected. But expenditures vague, miscellaneous improvements eating thousands. She's been president for 8 years, Vic said. No term limits. And she signs every check solo. Alex connected dots, fines funneled back. Perhaps skimmed. He rallied quietly, Lena. A few others tired of her reign. She's like a bad landlord, one griped at a backyard barbecue Alex hosted. Fines for breathing wrong. Barbara caught wind. Emailing the group, fraternizing with non-compliant members undermines unity. Alex replied mildly, just neighbors chatting. No bylaw against that? Her silence spoke volumes, she was rattled. Tensions boiled over when Alex's security cam caught a shadow spray painting trash out on his garage door at 2 a.m. No face. But the gate screamed Barbara's officious strut. He didn't report it yet, evidence was ammo. At the next meeting, she ramped up the theater, rising concerns about vandalism, likely outsiders. Alex bit his tongue. But Vic dug deeper. Barbara had a loan from a defunct vendor the HOA used. Suspiciously timed with her debt wipeout. Embezzlement? Close enough. Alex prepped his counterstrike. Gathering signatures for a petition, demand a full audit. Barbara fired a preemptive shot, a cease and desist from a strip mall lawyer, cease your slanderous inquiries or face suit. Alex laughed, her bluff reeked of desperation. She's circling the wagons, Vic advised. Hit her at the annual assembly. The annual HOA bash was a powder keg in the rec center. Packed with 70 residents under fluorescent buzz. Barbara, in her power suit, banged the gavel like it owed her money. She zipped through approvals, new fence paint mandates. Dues hike for beautification. But when she called adjournment, Alex rose. Voice steady as a piston. Motion for an independent audit of HOA finances. Past 5 years. Seconded by Lena and 5 others. The room hushed, Barbara's face twisted into a mask of feigned shock. Unnecessary. Our books are impeccable, reviewed internally. Alex laid it out. Show don't tell style, last year's summary, $160,000 in. $95,000 out. Where's the $65,000? No receipts. No bids, just reserves. Murmurs erupted. Barbara spluttered. This is sabotage. Mr. Rivera resents our standards because he can't meet them, his rust bucket. His background. The slip, background, someone barked. You mean he's Latino? Or just not rich enough for you? Barbara backpedaled. Cheeks flaming, I meant commitment to the rules. But Alex pressed, like your secret refinances? Or that vendor loan during your bankruptcy? Gasps. Vic's docs projected on a borrowed screen, redacted but damning. Let's vote. Hands shot up, 38 yes. 14 no. Audit passed. Barbara slammed her papers. Storming the podium. You'll regret this. I've built this place, kept up the riffraff. Lena stood, motioned to suspend President Klein pending audit. Conflict clear. Another vote, 35 yes. Barbara froze. Eyes wild. Then bolted. Heels clacking like retreating gunfire. The room exploded in chatter, relief. Outrage. A few cheers. Alex stayed seated. Watching her facade crack like cheap paint. It was hilario-tragic, the queen of petty rules. Hoist by her own petard. The auditors unearthed the mess in weeks, $142,000 siphoned over years, fake invoices. Personal reimbursements 4 trips. Even HOA cash funding her Mercedes lease. Charges flew, fraud. Embezzlement. Barbara pleaded down. Repaid some. Got probation. Sold her house. And vanished to who knows where. New board, Lena at helm. Transparent reports. No more nitpick fines. Alex got refunds. Apologies. Even invites to potlucks. Neighbors waved, kids played freely. He sat on his porch one crisp evening. Chevy gleaming after a wash. Feeling the weight lift. Not revenge, justice. Slow and satisfying. Like fixing a long-broken engine. But here's the kicker, was Barbara the real villain? Or just a symptom of suburbs where rules mask prejudice and power grabs? You tell me, was Alex right to dig deep? Or should he have just played along?